Welcome once more to our first workshop session where we will be treated to how to look professional on video calls by our presenter. But a little bit about our presenter, Amanda May Gray. She is an on-camera expert with 18 years of experience as a model, an actress, and as a YouTuber. And she has learned insider secrets on how to be on camera, and she's transferred these skills into video calls and also in creating her own home studio, one that really has a bit of flair to it. And so she'll be taking us through some useful pillars on how to work the video space, as well as give us a roadmap on how we can succeed. So please help me welcome Amanda May Gray.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm so excited you all came, and I hope that this brings you a lot of value. And I want to tell you right up front, if you have questions, please feel free to interrupt me as we go, because it is a lot of information, and I want to make sure that you guys are getting exactly what you came for. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pop right into how to elevate your presence on video calls. And of course, you can also choose to make me smaller or bigger while I'm presenting by using that little toggle icon in between me and the slides themselves. As we mentioned, we're going to be going over 3 pillars to make sure that you are ready for video calls, so you can elevate your presence, so you can wow and look amazing. And when you come on camera, people are like, whoa, hey, hi, you look great today. And that is a good feeling. And I promise you can achieve that. It's not that hard. It's not going to take you a lot of money. It takes a little preparation in advance, and then you are ready to go. As she mentioned, my name is Amanda May Gray. I have a YouTube channel. It's mostly a podcast, but it also has some how-to videos on there about all things video and space. And I am an on-camera expert who has been an actress, a model, all the things for years. And I didn't really think much of these skills until we all got on Zoom and other people were struggling to feel comfortable, to feel confident, to know what to do. And I was like, it's easy, but it's easy because I've been doing it so long. And I also had to figure out this space by myself, right? I didn't have a little studio prior to this. I had a bedroom that I decided this would be a great space to make a studio in. And thankfully, my man agreed. He was like, okay, honey, sure, sounds great. But feel free to scan that QR code, or at the end, I will also be giving you guys a little handout that has the links to different products that I recommend and things that you can get, and a guide so that you can follow along afterwards and make sure you make your changes. But the first thing to understand that really we're all about lowering your barrier of entry. When you lower your barrier of entry, you'll be more eager to get on camera, to actually do this thing, because you've set yourself up. So if you're prepping now, you're going to feel confident later. And believe it or not, some very small adjustments can really make a difference in your appearance online. We got 3 pillars to talk about. Number 1, it's all about what they see. They being everybody else, okay? What you guys are seeing of me right now. The second thing is about what they hear. Because frankly, if we can't hear you, then the seeing part, well, that doesn't matter as much, does it? That's the point, is to be able to hear you, but also to see you. And the third thing that I'll touch on briefly is about what you share. Not what you say, not the specific words, not a script that you have to go through line by line, but just what you share. So number 1, what they see. We're talking about you and your space. Those are the 2 things. But if you think about it, really, we only need what's in this little box, right? Whatever is on this side or that side of my box doesn't really matter. What's below me, also, and what's above. It's just about what we see here. So that's where we need to stay in our focus. When it comes to you, it's all about your appearance. But really, it's about what makes you feel good. It's not about the latest trend. It's not about the hot color, or if you're parting your hair in the middle or on the side. It's not about how much makeup you put on or what suit you've decided It's about how you feel confident. I want you to think about a time when you felt really good. Like you looked in the mirror and you were like, yes, I got this. How can we cultivate that feeling more often? What colors do you enjoy? What articles of clothing make you really feel like, yes, I can do this? Thinking about those items in advance and having them like designated so that you have specific things that you can just grab and go to makes a big difference. It lets you just grab and go. And if you have those things planned out in advance, you don't even have to think about it. And I am going to give you permission right here, right now, right at the beginning, that you can have what I call a Zoom uniform, which means if you look at my YouTube, you will see me often in the same exact shirt over and over and over again, or a few different variations. I don't try to overthink it. I don't try to do something fancy every time. I have a few jackets that I know I like. I have a few tops that I know don't wrinkle and are going to look good. And those are my go-tos. Trust me, nobody's really going to notice if you're wearing the same thing all the time. And if they do, oh, well, they got other things to worry about. And you don't have time to worry about them worrying about you wearing the same thing because you know you feel good and you look good. And really, that's all that matters. So have a few things in advance that you know of. But of course, we want to talk about colors because the camera does distort. It's just a fact. Do I look absolutely like this in person? Probably not. I would like to. That'd be nice. This coloration right now is fantastic. But if it was a cloudy day, it would be different. If it's nighttime, it can be different. But the key with the colors for your clothing is to make sure that you have contrast. You don't want to wear the same color that your wall is. You're just going to blend in with it. And you want to wear things that are really a little bit more rich in color. That's where jewel tones come in. Jewel tones like this tealy, greeny color I've got going on here, or as you can see in that color palette. Jewel tones give you that vibrance, that life to yourself. Blue is always a great color, and it's actually the #1 most universally appealing color. Now, I couldn't tell you exactly who figured that out or where that comes from. I learned that probably a decade ago when I was in commission sales, and they were like, you gotta dress a certain way, and blue is the color. So I can't quote you exactly where that's from, but that's the idea. Blue is great. You can't go wrong with blue unless you're me and you say blue is fabulous and I'm gonna make it my wall. And then you can't wear blue because you decided to make your wall blue, and that cuts out half your wardrobe. Just consider that if you do paint your wall blue and you like blue. Black is also a universally appealing color as well. But again, if you have a dark background and black on, you want to give yourself some contrast. If you've got a white wall and black, that could work. Now, generally speaking, you do want to avoid white and red. But when I say red, I mean like fire engine red. I don't mean maroon or like a really deep shade, or maybe even sometimes a light pink can work. But like fire engine red, for whatever reason, and I don't know the technicality behind those either, but it distorts the camera, as does white. If you've ever messed around with cameras at all, you may know about a thing called white balance. White balance is the camera itself picking up white, balancing to the white, and then adjusting all of the other colors depending on that white. It's something that you will see if you've ever done a photo shoot with a professional. You'll almost always have them see, like, put a white thing in front of the camera and white balance and then go in. It's the way for the camera to become the truest colors. So if you wear white, that could throw off all of the other colors because you're just kind of confusing the camera more or less. You also want to avoid all skin tones. I mean, any skin tone, anything, anywhere near your own skin tone. Again, contrast. You don't want to blend in with it. And it could be uncomfortable, right? Like you don't want to do that for people. So just avoid the skin tones in general. And just because like a khaki suit jacket might look great on you in person, it might not really be working on the camera. In addition, you want to avoid small patterns. Anything really small is also going to confuse the camera and it can make you look a little blurry, especially if you are animated like I am and you can't sit still while you're talking on the camera. It's just going to mess with the camera and mess with what people are seeing. So those are my general recommendations for color. But do you want to know the fastest way to look put together in a pitch? You get that call, you're like, crap, I was supposed to be on this Zoom call 5 minutes ago, and you got to rush, and it's a business call, and you did not get out of your pajamas yet because you're still working at home, and you're like, what do I do? I want you guys to go ahead and type your guesses in the chat. What do you think is the fastest way to look put together? Ooh, posture. Diana, that's a good idea. I mean, you're not wrong. But that's not what I'm thinking. Any other guesses? A smile. Smiles are good. I like smiles. You should always be smiling. Anyways, why not? That's fun. Use a picture instead of live. Andrew, now listen. That's not where I was going with this. A suit jacket, says Alyssa. Oh, hey, girl. Another jacket. Throw on a jacket. Okay, you guys are jumping. Did you see my presentation already? What are you guys doing? A black top, says Brian. Brian, how many black tops do you have? A filter. Raquel, no, not a filter. I want to see you as you. Ooh, a scarf. That could be fun. Correct answer, in my opinion, is a suit jacket. You guys were correct. Good job. Yay. Oh, wait, where's my thing? Woohoo. A suit jacket is a very fast way to not only feel put more together, but to look it. As soon as you put on a suit jacket, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but like all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay. All right. It's business time. Now you can see in this photo, I have like just a basic t-shirt and it's really cute in person. Doesn't look great on camera. I toss this jacket over it and I'm ready to roll. Now, ladies, another trick for you. Sometimes I get in trouble saying this, so I don't want to say this and have it come across the wrong way. I don't think you have to wear makeup whatsoever. But if you like makeup, a fast way to look a little more put together and feel a little more put together is to toss on some lipstick. Again, I'm not an advocate. I'm not saying you have to do it. If you don't like makeup, don't wear makeup. But for me, I find if I toss on a little lipstick, it gives me a little color. I feel different when I put a lipstick. It's kind of like putting on heels. You're like, oh, here we go. It's like putting on a jacket and you just come to life a little bit more. And trust me, this one works, especially if you go a little bit darker, then you're like, ta-da, I did everything today. Another one, a good one is your glasses. If you have glasses or if you don't have glasses and you have blue light blockers, which I also highly recommend, that could be a quick way to be like, look at me, I'm professional. A couple ideas there for you. Speaking of glasses, yes, let's talk about glasses because I know that so many people struggle with this. Oh, I thought they were right here. Dang. And yes, those are real glasses, but I also have blue light blockers and I can't find them. That figures. See, that's what I do for not checking in advance where they're supposed to be. But to reduce your glare on glasses, this is actually one of my #1 YouTube videos. It's like a minute and a half long and it has more views than almost anything else because it's a very common problem. Yes, they'll let you look put together quickly, but to make sure that there's a reduction of that glare, you want to make sure they're clean, first of all, because if you have smudges, the lights that are coming into them can reflect back onto the camera and also it can be distracting. So that's not fun. You can reduce your screen brightness because that's really where the light is coming from. So if you can turn that down, often all we see is like a blue glare on the lenses. That's because of your screen. So reduce that down. And then in addition, try to have your lights above you and at a 45-degree angle if possible. I have these LED box panel lights and they can adjust. So when I have my glasses on, I make sure they're at a nice angle so that that light is going through the lens and not reflecting back out onto the camera. So it's a quick change and it's easy to do. All right, let's talk about your space. Because I spent a lot of time there. I feel like we got to speed up a little bit here. Your space, again, is only what they see in the box. So you want to think about what's behind you and minimize that. When it comes to this, less is more. Mine looks fancy, but if we're being honest with each other, here's what I got in frame. I've got a blue wallpaper. It's a peel and stick wallpaper, which means technically it should come down and not leave a mark. And hopefully it does. And I haven't tried it yet, but we're hoping because because if it doesn't, it's going to be awkward in this room. And then I just have this flower. Like, it's fake. I got it. Where did I get it at? Ross for $11. Like, this bad boy, it's probably dusty. I probably shouldn't move it around like that. But that's it. Then I got some lights. And that's all of it. I don't have anything more. But the key behind this, that it works, is that it's not distracting. It adds interest with the textured wallpaper, which adds depth. The big difference between my wallpaper and just a painted wall is that texture in it. There's some different color variations. And that makes me look more 3D than just flat against a wall. So how can you create a space that is a little bit more depth? Now, you will also notice that this is a corner. I'm going to move me around a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see. This is a corner in a bedroom. I'm not kidding you. There's a window right there. The wallpaper ends. There's our TV. Like, I literally only wallpapered this little box, and it's about 6 feet by 3 feet. That's it. It's not a lot of space. It's surprising when you walk in here, because my friends have come over and they're like, we want to see the studio. And they're like, oh, that's it? I'm like, yeah, I'm not kidding. It's a tiny little space. I chose a corner out of necessity, but what I found is because it's a dedicated corner, nobody can walk behind me. That's a win. It always looks like this. Anytime you walk in this room, it's ready to go. I don't have to shuffle things around. I don't have to tidy or organize. And the secret really is that this is the corner of my desk. I don't sit here when I'm actually working. When I'm working, I actually sit like this and face this window in front of me, but on the other side of my computer. And then when I need to go on a call, I just shuffle everything around. And I've got 3 books that I stand my computer on. It's not high tech. And then I'm ready to go. So if you can create yourself a dedicated corner, that will lower your barrier of entry. Now, I know not everybody can have a dedicated corner. I know that. My friend Alexandre, he and I talked the other day, and he has this big, beautiful space, but he doesn't have a corner. And so what we came up with was to get a textured shower curtain in a solid color to be able to put it behind him so that he could slide it away and pull it back out when he needs it. That's a really quick, easy way, inexpensive way to create a space. Put a rod up, even if it's a shower curtain rod. Or maybe you need like a little tripod to go on one side, shower curtain on the other. And then you can just slide it back and forth. And I have a link in the paperwork that I'm going to drop in the chat in just a bit that'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. It's a waffle, so it's got a little texture, but then just find the color that works for you. Now, my super high-tech trick for figuring out what color, you're going to laugh. I literally took clothing articles that I like in colors that I like. I held them up behind my head and I snapped a selfie. And then I compared those photos. And I figured out I had this beautiful blue top. And I figured out, ooh, this color looks great with my red hair. That really pops. And poof, I ended up with blue. So if you're trying to figure out if you decide to do a color, what color, that's my super high-tech, not high-tech way of figuring out what color can work for you. And if you feel silly doing it, so what? Don't worry about that. Just don't let anybody else see. Just have the dog around for you. Dogs are great judges of character, and they will support every decision you make. And if you can't do any of those things and you want a green screen, I did include a pop-up green screen, because the key thing with green screens and virtual backgrounds is you have to light them well and they have to not have wrinkles. So if you do decide to go the green screen route, make sure you have one that doesn't get wrinkled, which is why I like this pull-up banner style one that I found on Amazon. I personally prefer the real because I like real, because I want to see you and your space. But if you do need to do it, you got to light yourself up really good, and you really need to have no wrinkles. So this is a view of it zoomed out. I've got this little love seat because my dog likes to pop in. If you've seen any of my podcasts, he just appears, or my YouTube, and then he'll disappear. Right now he's sleeping. But that's it. It's not much. You don't have to have much. You just have to work with what you got and think inside the box to go outside. Let's talk about lighting. So first and foremost, if you can situate yourself near a window, natural sunlight looks good on everybody. And I mean everybody. It is a beautiful way to light you up. Now, as I mentioned, I have a huge window next to me here. It's a double window, which is fabulous. But in the mornings, it's too much. So I still have 2 LED panel lights. That gives me a lot of options. But if you don't want to spend that kind of money, then you don't have to. You can use any lamp whatsoever and just put what we call a daylight bulb in it. A daylight bulb mimics the sunshine and therefore is going to give you that more natural lighting. You want to get that daylight, that whiteness to really reflect back on you and show up best in the camera. So if you only have a lamp, put it right behind your lens on the other side here. Take the shade off and let yourself be brightened up. You can also use ring lights. I'm sure a bunch of you have those ring lights, and they're great as well because they often are able to be moved around and adjusted however you need. The thing I'll tell you about lighting is it is not one and done, unfortunately. Unlike once you've set up your space, you're going to have to tinker with it here and there. Because if you do have a window near you, the sun's not always up. What if it's cloudy? What if it's nighttime? Or like I mentioned, in the morning, if I have to do like an 8 a.m. presentation, it is so bright. The sun is blasting through these windows. And even my blackout curtains are like, okay, calm down, sunshine. You are aggressive on this camera right now. We need you to tone it. So it's something you're going to have to mess with. You have to tinker with. But if you have a couple of lights and a few different options, that'll help you really achieve that. So I don't have an end all be all for the lights, but you just got to keep playing with it. Do avoid any windows behind you because then you're going to backlight and you're just going to disappear. And we want to see you. Come on, let us see you. Be mindful of your glasses and avoid any overhead lighting that's directly above you because then that can cast a shadow down on your eyes. If we want to see you and your expressions, we got to have light on your face. All right, on to number 2, what they hear. Believe it or not, the most important thing I want you to take away from this whole thing is that your audio is number 1. I'll say that again. Your audio is the most important thing. Because honestly, if my camera went down, but you could still hear me, if my internet was finicky, we could still do this. It would still work. So you absolutely need some form of an external microphone. But you don't have to go all in and be podcast mic on a boom arm and all the things. You don't have to do this. You can. And I linked one in the description because it's kind of fun if you like toys. I like toys. These are fun. But you can use literally any headset that you have. If I switch my audio from this boom mic to my MacBook Pro, can you hear a difference? Type Y in the chat if you can hear the difference between the microphones. It's not going to sound as good, right? See? I know. You're like, please just switch it back to the other microphone now. Now, even my webcam, this is on the Brio. It has a microphone and you think, maybe that'll work. Nah, not great. It's not great. So I would avoid that as well. Oh, let's see. It's USB. Okay. But any microphone that you get closer to your mouth is going to work better. Because here's the thing with these microphones. They're meant to pick up everything around you. They're not meant to isolate. They know it's going to be farther away from you. So it's meant to pick up whatever is going on. Whereas anytime you bring that mic closer to your mouth, then it's going to isolate more on your voice and it's going to give us a better sound. So for that, you can even use any like wireless Bluetooth headsets, whatever you might have. If you've got just a wired headset, that's fine too. And I don't think it looks unprofessional to have any type of headset. I think it is less professional for it to be crackling, for it to be distant, for me to be hard to hear. So use what you have and then go with what you can. Summit. Sorry. Hopefully he's not too loud. I apologize. I told you I had a dog. He can't help himself. Okay. And then all about what you share. Oh, except I forgot one thing. I forgot the webcam. Oh, I totally forgot to tell you about the webcam. Okay. Real quick. Before we go to what you share, let's go back. I don't want to distract you guys. Actually, let's stop share real quick. I'm going to show you the webcam differences. This is something that I was hesitant to buy. I was like, meh, I got a newer computer. Like, it's fine. I don't need a webcam. Are you ready for this? This is a Logitech Brio 3. If I switch to, I got to scoot it over. There we go. This, okay. This is my built-in MacBook Pro circa, I think I got in the fall of 2020. This is not as good. This is the same lighting. This is everything is the same. And I look kind of, I mean, I almost look like I got jaundice going on here. It's not great. As soon as I got a webcam, come on, turn back on. Boom. The difference is huge. Now, Logitech makes great products that I really like. Mine is the Brio. It is on the upper end because I go all in on things in case that wasn't evident. But you can get their C922. Yeah, C922 for under $100 here in the US. And I think they're worth getting. So that's real quick on that. And then I'm just going to run through. Yes, the C920s. There's a bunch of them. There's also a Brio. I'll put this in the chat real quick while I'm talking about what to do when you share. Now, my big tip, anytime you go online. Oh, I didn't mean to send that directly to you, Diane, just only. Hold on. Everyone. First and foremost, when you go online, and this involves, I'm telling you, if you've got a photo shoot, if you have got a call, if you've got to record a video, I don't care what it is, physically shake it out. Literally shake out your whole body, shake your hands out. You can do it with me if you want, if you're feeling excited. Shake it out. There you go. Yes, honey. Shake your whole body out. Literally. I did this before I came on. And then take some big deep breaths. Do you feel a little more grounded? For those of you that, yes, Sunny's got this huge smile on her face, right? It's going to relax you and get out those jitters, get out those nerves. So shake it out and then just talk to a friend. Throw your script away. Stop trying to memorize it. Just have some bullet points, maybe on note cards if you need, but focus on sharing your information with us because we value it. Boom, that's our time. Try to stay on time here for you guys. Do we have any questions? I think we might have a minute or two for that. Let's see. Somebody said in the chat, the new iMac with the M1 chip has a quite good camera, and I do combine it with a USB condenser microphone. That's awesome. Again, just trial and error. Your biggest thing is to go onto a Zoom by yourself, record it, test your different microphones that you have for options, and then play it back and see what it looks like. Test the different cameras. Get a Zoom friend that you can try things out with and practice. And just see what looks good for you. Are there any questions that I can assist with? I think we were actually ahead of time. You know, it was timed, but yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
I put in a question about Crisp. Have you used that application? It's a sound application to take away extraneous noises,
No.
computer fans, and things
That
like
sounds
that.
cool, though.
Yeah, it has it both on the mic side and on the speaker side.
And it works with Zoom?
Yeah, it works with Zoom. It's right on my MacBook Pro.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to write, I need notes. I need to take notes. Andrew, you just taught me something. Thank you. That's very cool. Oh, yes, I can put my QR code back up on the screen. Boom. There you go. You can just scan that one to connect. Or I suppose I could make it big. Crisp sounds very cool. But again, it's just like, the one thing I will tell you, let's jump through to the end. There we go. The one thing I'll tell you, come on, work for me. You know, you try to make things work. Is that the more expensive and the more high tech you get with equipment, the more you're going to have to learn.